Welcome to the Disney Hour Express podcast. I'm Abbie.
And I'm Rob. We are two hopelessly romantic Disney enthusiasts,
Sharing fun stories, secret tips, and family travel experiences.
If you are a Disney newbie, or maybe a season pass holder, we hope you find this information helpful.
We turned our love of Disney into a unique boutique travel agency that books Disney and Universal vacations.
We've got a lot of stories, so cozy on up, choose your favorite drink,
Whether that be a cocktail or a hot chocolate,
and enjoy the Disney Hour Express.
Hey, Oceaneers, welcome back to the Disney Hour Express, a little bite-sized burst of Disney for your week.
Yes! Yes!
Have you been waiting for it?
The whole
Today's
week.
episode is extra special because we are joined by a very magical guest, Megz from Family Travel Planner. We're so excited to have her here. Our very own Megz was invited by Disney to experience the magic firsthand. And not only did she learn all the Disney secrets, which she can't tell you everything because then that would just ruin all the fun, but she'll tell us some. And she got to tour the Wish. And she also decided to go to that other park. Yeah, that one that has been in the news a lot lately. So we're going to even talk about that too. So we're really excited for all of this. Hey, Megz, welcome.
Hey guys, I'm so excited to be here.
Well, welcome. We're glad to have you. But I would like to just, you tried to just bull rush right through all that.
You know
so
what?
I couldn't comment.
I had an intro today. Finally.
Everyone they're so much more happier. I was getting all these side DMs like saying, I know Abbie should why didn't she do an intro? Is something wrong? Is everything all right? They're gonna, everyone, it's okay.
Last week my intro was lame, Megz. So sorry. This one rocked this week. So
I loved it. I thought it was great.
But also, we have talked about Universal and Epic Universe quite often.
Of course.
Okay.
That's true, we have. But
so
we're excited for the first.
Universal people, we're happy to be invited down there too. Include us in things. Give us invites. Right?
I would like that very much.
Yeah. So.
Anywho, so Megz, tell us about you. Tell us how you got into Family Travel Planner and all of those fun things. We want to hear the background before we jump into the now.
Sure. I mean, technically I got into Family Travel Planner because I saw Abbie's car at a dance studio and I asked in the waiting room and there were apparently 2 Disney cars in the parking lot besides mine, I found out. And Abbie recognized me because we have a friend in common. Abbie recognized me from the internet.
That's true.
So technically that's how I came to FTP. But prior to that, I decided to become a travel planner a few years ago after having super deep dived a family vacation planning on my own and turning Walt Disney World into a special interest.
Yes.
I started having people, I know this is a lot of people's kind of origin story. I started having people ask me for Disney advice and ask me about planning advice and ask me about what I was doing on my trip so they could emulate it. And that kind of became well, okay, this is something people do as a job and maybe I could have a great side hustle because it is something I'm passionate about and it is something that I really enjoy. And at the time, my day job was in customer service. So I was, already super excited to be spending time helping people and talking to people. And so being able to transition into doing that as a side gig was really spectacular and has been remarkable for me because I've gotten to spend the last 4 or so years just learning and growing and evolving in a lot of really cool ways, including becoming more adaptable as a result of my increased travel. And I think that that's really cool because it's like a personal accomplishment because of this job. When I met Abbie at the dance studio, I was with a different travel agency and I was with a much larger travel agency. And I was already at that point a little bit um unhappy with the level of education that was provided to their agents and the level of support we were provided because they had so many folks to support.
Mm.
It was really tricky to communicate there. And in talking to Abbie and learning more about what it's like to be a boutique agency and getting to learn about the amount of effort that you guys put into teaching your agents means that our clients are having a better experience because we're able to be as informed as humanly possible and as well trained as possible. And so I was so excited to come and join FTP
Mhm.
and be able to contribute to more of that. And even help teaching our agents some of the skills that I already had prior to coming. And even
Yes.
now, I am so excited to share with our agents the things that I learned at my workshop.
Yes, and you've been so valuable to coming to FTP, especially from a larger agency. There were some odds and ends that we weren't utilizing that we now utilize because of you, Megs. So it's been a learning experience on both ends, which has been very
Mm.
wonderful. So we appreciate you and we're so happy to have you on board with us. Um, okay, so now coming to this day, we got an email from Disney saying that they wanted us to choose our two top travel agents or advisors, I guess they say. And so we chose you and Dylan, who we featured on our other podcast. And I was so excited to send both of you because you both have been so integral in our growth and where we want to go, in the future too. So this is a really exciting time for us. And I'm so excited you got to go. Now let's get down to business
Wow,
because,
wow, 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 wow,
sir,
wow. She
excuse me, I was getting
always,
ready to get to like the chocolate part. This is where we're
come
going.
on. She always wants to get down to business. I got questions. We gotta let people know Meg's a little bit more than that.
All right, that's fair. That's very
Okay.
fair.
All right. When, what do you remember when your first visit to Disney was?
Oh, that's a good one. I always forget.
I do.
Okay.
My very first trip to Disney, I was down in Florida for something else, and there was a day trip planned to MGM, now
Oh,
I
Hollywood
love that.
Studios.
all
Uh,
right.
I was 6 at the time, and the only thing I remember besides walking, trying to have my mom figure out what quick service places didn't have dairy foods at them because I was allergic to dairy as a kid.
Oh.
Um, I only remember climbing on the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, playscape. There's like a giant
Oh.
Cheerio and like I think a film strip might have been the slide.
Okay.
Um,
Yes,
so
I
my
remember that so clearly. Oh my goodness.
so like my
That's
first
wow.
ever Disney trip, that's what I remember. That's
Remember.
it because I was
Okay.
6. And I didn't get to go a lot growing up. I've been much more as an adult than I did as a kid.
Okay.
Mhm.
No, that makes I get that. Yeah, I think I'm kind of a similar way, and I lived in Florida for 2 years,
I
but only
know.
went a handful of times, and then even I went much later. I mean, once
Listen,
I like my late 30s, then I started going more as
I
an
think,
adult.
Megs, didn't you also live or did you do a full sail online? See, all three
I
of
did.
us lived in Florida at some so Megs and I
Mhm.
went to the same graduate school, just at
Oh,
different times. So yeah, that's
okay.
kind of funny.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I lived
Yeah.
All
I
right.
lived in Winter Park for
In Winter
13
Park.
months.
Okay.
Although the only Disney that I actually did while I was there was Disney Springs. I went and got Earl of Sandwich several times because it's my
Oh,
favorite
the Earl of
favorite sandwiches.
Sandwich. All right.
Um,
That's one of the things too, as I said, as a grad student, we couldn't afford Disney, so we just went to Universal, and I had a pass, like a season pass to Universal, because if you were a resident there, you could get one for 2 years for like $150 or something like that. I was like, "Okay, spent, done." It's kind of funny.
Mm.
the early 2000s were a different time. That's when I was down there. I was there in
Yeah.
2007, 2008. It was a different time. Horror nights,
Dude.
you could just kind of go. It was different.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was there in 2008 as well.
That's wild.
Okay, we'll have to deep dive that a little bit more later. That's
Uh-oh.
kind of weird. Okay. That's funny.
But how were you
Um,
down there in 2008? You just turned 27 last week,
I
right? 2
know.
weeks
I know.
ago.
I just
So,
seem to go backwards in time.
uh,
Okay. So what other questions have you got, Rob,
okay.
before
So
we move
now
on?
are you thanks for asking. Okay. Now, are you more of a rope drop or an extended evening hours person?
Ooh, I love that question
Mm,
because full transparency, it varies.
okay.
I will tell you that for a long time, I was both. I was a
Mm,
rope drop
mm,
to park close person. If I could stay on property and get an extra hour or two, I was
yeah.
doing that.
Mm,
Um, as I've gotten to go more and I've gotten to know more, I've
mm.
been able to have much more relaxed times there, which has been remarkable and so pleasant because
Mm,
I get to enjoy the vibes, but without being exhausted every single day, especially as I get older and, I have 2 kids, so if they happen to go down with me, that's different
mm.
as well.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, I'm going to stay for whatever it takes to be able to get on, like, Jungle Cruise, and I'm gonna do whatever
Okay.
it takes to be able to get on, like, the People Mover.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
if I can get onto some favorites and it doesn't take me all day at this point, maybe I'll go enjoy a nice meal at Tambu Lounge or something and don't
Okay.
have to be in the parks all day.
Alright.
But that's new. That's new as I've been doing this for a few years, and it's really nice.
Okay. No, I like that. And I think that's part of it is getting to the point where we're able to be a little bit more relaxed. And it's not rush, 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 go, go, go all the time.
Yeah.
Because that's we have a tendency to do that. I mean, we also mix our business with pleasure. And you do the same, you're doing content, and it's just so it takes a lot, but you want to be able to enjoy it, right? Even that's the main thing where we're down there is because we love going down there. We want to be able to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're going to have a lot of questions for you, actually, as we're taking a very different trip this year. But
Oh.
anyways, we're going to get to your trip. We want to.
We
No,
will
no,
if
no,
Rob
no.
just
No,
keeps
no,
asking
no.
questions again. Rob just keeps asking more questions. Okay, I got 2 more. All right, if you had to pick one of the 4 Disney parks, if you were only able to go to one for the rest of your life, which one would it be?
Oh my God.
Excluding water
It
parks and all that stuff.
it would be Epcot
Okay.
because I don't think I could spend the rest of my life not riding Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
So
interesting.
I like because of Guardians, it has
Okay.
to be Epcot.
It has to be Epcot because of Guardians.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Epcot, obviously, adults love Epcot for various reasons, but it also has so many places to eat and it has so many fun things and they've added so much.
Rob, something that's really interesting is
Yeah.
my 11-year-old actually chooses Epcot as his favorite park. Um, he very happily and contentedly would do an entire trip that was
Mm,
just Epcot given the option.
okay. I like it. I do like that.
I love it.
It's somewhat defeated us the past 3 family trips, but
Mm,
we're hoping to
Yeah.
change things this time. I mean, we've gotten COVID and various other things, but yeah, it's so we're hoping to conquer it this time. Last question. If you had to choose one snack, one Disney snack, or here, you know what? I got 2. I'm sorry, take it back. Are you a Starbucks or a Joffrey's?
Ooh, ooh, ooh. I feel like you're a Starbucks, but maybe not. Oh, this is a good one.
okay, so both, because all coffee is good coffee.
Okay.
But
All right.
when I'm in Disney, I do mostly drink Joffrey's. My favorite Joffrey's location is the Tower of Terror exit location because it almost never has a line and they do a great job and they always have almond milk. Um,
Mm, okay.
and
All
uh,
right.
truly in Orlando, though, my favorite coffee is actually the oat milk cold brew that they have at Gideon's. So I get a little
Oh,
bougie sometimes when I travel and I go over to Disney Springs to get that
yeah.
Gideon's cold brew because it is it is not just my favorite coffee in Orlando, it's my favorite
Oh,
coffee, period.
oh,
Mm.
I can't say
Now,
I've had
wasn't
it.
there like kind of a letdown this year though? Did they not make it?
Yeah, okay, so they didn't they took my favorite flavor of it off the menu, and
Oh,
they are not making it right now. So they do still have several flavors, and they are still all good, but they took off the cookies and cream, which is my favorite, and I was so bummed. Now, I do have good news, Abby, for
mhm.
us, which is that nearby where we live, at a place that we've actually been to together, they have a cookies and cream cold brew.
Oh,
Oh, snap.
Mhm,
They've been
mhm.
in the news. They have like buckets
The
of
bucket, I
iced
saw,
coffee.
yeah,
I'm like,
different sized
interesting.
coffees over there with the bucket.
why is
Um,
it?
Huh?
because of those buckets, they had a line out the door last time I was there. It was a few days ago.
Oh,
It was
Wow.
wild.
Oh,
Um,
man.
yeah, I'm
They've
so
really
glad.
made a name for
okay.
themselves. That's awesome.
It might come up later in the podcast, but I actually have plans that I intend to execute there moving forward.
Ooh, I like that. Ooh, I want to hear about it. Nice.
Okay,
All
I'm
right.
done with my questions. Abby can
Yeah.
get
Are
back
you
to
sure? Are you
I,
100% positive?
no, I'm good.
Listen,
All
Okay.
right.
if you think of more get to know you questions as we go along, I won't be upset if you interrupt me. All
Mid
right.
sentence, got it.
So we're going to get down to the nitty gritty. And I'm going to ask you, what day did you travel down to Orlando?
I traveled down on the 4th of July and I flew in the nighttime when it was dark so we could see fireworks while we were landing.
That's actually really amazing. What a cool idea. Did you know that was going to happen pre
I
flight or like didn't really?
I suspected it would just because like every park in Orlando does something for 4th of
Oh,
July,
yeah.
even
Yeah.
like Icon Park and Fun
Oh,
Spot, like
okay.
the kind of smaller ones.
Yeah.
Yes.
So just everywhere and even like people's local fireworks we could kind of see. So for like
Oh,
the last maybe
that's cool.
20 minutes of the flight, out both sides, you could just see intermittent little sprinkles of fireworks, and it was really cool. And
Yeah.
it was a really easy flight, which was nice because being a holiday, there weren't a ton of people trying to fly. So that was really nice as well.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Especially on the night of 4th of July. That
Yeah.
seems people are usually already where they need to be, but good.
Exactly.
Took
Exactly.
advantage of it. All right, good. That's awesome.
Now, if I remember correctly, that night you rented a car. Did you find, is that correct?
Mhm.
And did you find it like seamless to get to your car right from the flight and everything? It kind of went, it's
Absolutely.
usually easy there,
It's
right?
usually it's usually really easy. This time around, so I typically rent Alamo. I've had really, really great success with them.
Mhm.
They're very travel agent friendly, which I appreciate. Um, and so I did kind of my usual, which is planning whatever the least expensive car is, for a couple of days that I was there. Once I was on property and no longer moving resorts, I did return my car because once you're on property, you don't necessarily need one.
Mhm.
Um,
Right.
but it was super seamless. I did joke a little bit with the Alamo guy because they had like these super cool like muscle cars out, like a Dodge
Oh,
Charger that was
yeah.
painted in like this army green color and a couple of other cool ones. And I was like, "Oh, is that mine?" When I was expecting like a Mitsubishi Mirage, and he was like, "Well, if you were here like an hour later, it might be because we eventually run out of cars." And
Ah,
I didn't know that was a
Oh,
thing. So if you fly in the middle of the night, you might get an upgrade based on what they have left in your category.
availability. Oh, I
that's
get it. Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Now, the only time I've always had good experiences in Orlando, except for when the Daytona races are happening,
Mhm.
because the cars are out everywhere. And even if you have a reserved car, it's like somebody might be late bringing back a car and that kind of thing. So you definitely have to check the calendar of like what's happening because Daytona's not even that close. So that's what blew my mind about it. So you just have to kind of check around and know what you're up for and up against. But it's nice to kind of just roll into Disney on your own terms, right?
Mhm.
Agreed.
Okay. So you got there and what'd you do next?
So
Walk us through your night.
I my arrival story is a little bit funny because I got very lost in the
Oh,
resort trying to find our building. So the
Oh.
first night, the plan was meet Dylan at her room. She was getting us a room with DVC points, and the whole plan was we were going to try two resorts we'd never stayed at before, or that I'd never stayed at before. So
mm,
Saratoga Springs was the first one, and then
Okay.
nice.
the next night we were at Grand Floridian for a night.
Mhm.
Saratoga Springs is sprawling.
It's
It is
huge.
very large.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I didn't actually realize quite how big the footprint was until I was driving in it. Um,
Oof,
and
uh,
it's a little bit for folks who have been to, like, Coronado Springs and you know how big
Mhm.
Coronado is,
Mhm.
it's a little like that. It's really quite large, and the signs for what section you're near are relatively small and relatively dark. And so being like
Okay.
11:30 at night when I arrived, um, it was super dark
yeah.
and I drove past the first set of signs that I saw, or I didn't see them. I drove past the first set of signs, which is the only sign in that area that has the section we were staying in labeled on it.
No. Oh
So
my gosh.
so
So
now you're just driving around like
This is like my
looking.
worst
Oh
nightmare
my
right
god.
here. Like, I would not be okay. I'd be, like, crying and hysterical and
I think
oh,
I
no.
said to Dylan, "This is my parking nightmare," because I
Yeah.
couldn't.
Okay. Yeah.
And she was like, "Okay, well, what are you near now?" You know, she tried. We were texting a little bit. We were trying really hard to be able to um sync up, and she really wanted me to find the room because I was exhausted.
Mhm.
Um, and it was a little crazy. Eventually, I actually pulled up the My Disney Experience app. I
Mhm.
pulled up the map for the resort on the app, and I looked at my location, and then I
Mhm.
used that like a GPS
Oh wow.
to
Okay.
find our area.
Oh,
Um,
that's smart.
it was I couldn't think of how else I was
So
gonna
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
locate
yeah.
it,
Yeah.
and it's because basically there is one turn right near the entrance to get to this one section, and it's the only way to get to that section, and I'd breezed
Oh,
right by it because it was right after security, so I didn't think about turning.
okay.
Um,
Okay.
so that got
Huh.
me. When I
Yeah.
found Dylan, I only needed to bring in one bag because I planned that that first night I knew which bag my clothes were in for the next day,
Mhm.
and that way I could leave everything else in the car. Um, and when I got there, as it turns out, the room door was haunted.
What?
So
What do you
Okay.
mean?
I have video of the door wiggling itself trying to open because we were in an ADA accessible room and the
Huh.
motor that opens the door for the wheelchair button
Uh-huh.
Oh.
was continually trying to open the door even when we weren't using it. So
Oh, no.
Oh, like it
so
was
at
just
this point,
stuck.
it's like 12:15, and we had to call
Oh,
we had to call the front desk to ask maintenance to come look at our door, but they did. They came out right away.
okay.
They
Okay.
looked at our door. He said, "Oh, I've never been in an ADA room before. I'm not sure what to do."
Oh my gosh.
Maybe he was new, I don't know. And we were like, "Oh, okay." I told him what I thought maybe the problem was. He took a look. While he was there, like, it only happened one time. So
Of
his
course.
arrival, of course, fixed the door. And it didn't occur once he left. Like, we were good
Okay.
after that. But the door was
Yeah.
literally trying to open itself continually, and Dylan and I were like, "That's spooky. Why is this happening right
Yeah, no thanks. Oh my god. So that's kind of like like what mixed bag? You're like, "Yay, fireworks, Disney, here I come." And then you're like, "Ah, ghosts and terribleness."
And I can't find my building. I'm yeah,
Yeah,
parking
I'm
nightmares.
lost. Oh my
Luckily,
Okay.
god.
I was too tired to be, like, grumpy about it, so I was just kinda like,
Okay.
I need a bed."
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Now, was this the in talking to Dylan last week? Not that we're gonna. This is your episode. We're getting your story, but she said there was one night where she didn't know how to turn down the air conditioning, so she just like,
Or
slept in a
turn.
bunch of towels. Was this the night or
I
was
think it
this?
was the same night. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it was like really cold then. It must have been.
I had turned down the AC in the main room because
Oh,
Dylan said she was cold. I
uh,
turned it up, not
up.
down.
Oh, okay.
I just torturing Dylan by
Yeah,
mistake.
exactly.
No, I turned it up to 70. The room absolutely did not get up to 70. Like,
Oh my gosh.
definitely
Yeah.
not, because I'm typically too warm when it's 70, and I
Mm.
was very comfortable because it
Okay.
was
All
cold.
right. Yeah.
It was Elsa's DVC suite, I'm pretty sure. But yes, Dylan,
Okay.
in fact, sleep with some towels as a blanket.
Oh, man, that's so sad.
No, that's so sad.
Okay, so we've kind of gotten to our bed for the night. Now, I hope you got to check out Saratoga the next day because it was too late for you to check it out that night. So what did you guys do? What did you do? What was your plan?
So Dylan was diving into parks, and I was not ready for
Mm.
parks yet. So I did spend a little time going around Saratoga, and truly during the day, it is beautiful.
Mhm.
I think my favorite thing about it is the proximity to like Disney Springs.
Yeah.
The convenience there, if I were going to stay there, would be really great. Um, the reality is, as someone who doesn't golf, it's definitely not a spot that I need to stay at, because there is an emphasis on you go there and you can play golf.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Okay.
so that's definitely something like when we have multi-generational families going and like the dudes want to go golfing together, or the family wants to go golfing together, that's absolutely going to be a recommendation that I think
Okay.
I would make for them. Um, the fact that everything is all spread out means that it was relatively quiet, at least in the DVC building where we were, and they were fully booked as far as I remember, so or close to
Hmm.
fully booked. Several of the resorts were quite full while we were there. Um, but it was quite lovely. I did spend a little bit more of the day exploring Grand Floridian, which is where I was moving to for the next night, because I'd never been there when it wasn't Easter or Christmas decorations. So
Okay.
Okay.
I wanted to go and see it, and then there were construction walls all over
I
the
know.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know.
yeah.
I know.
I feel like the Grand Floridian has been under construction pretty consistently over the past 3 years.
Yeah.
Um, what a bummer,
Like
though.
yeah, like we said, when we
Bummer.
were down for our AAP trip, it was under construction.
Yeah.
It feels like it
Yeah,
was under
the
construction before
exterior
that.
and
Yeah, yeah,
interior.
yeah.
And then they took down
And
the interior construction just for Christmas and then put it back.
and now it's just going to be up through Christmas. So there it goes, your
No.
gingerbread house, Grand Floridian.
That's
Very
so
exciting.
but
Okay,
anyways,
all right.
I mean, what did you do, despite the construction and everything?
So I was super excited to get to go and check out some of the things at the Grand Floridian that are more kid friendly, because there are certain resorts at Disney that I absolutely have a predisposed notion of
Mm,
them maybe being for an older crowd or being for a younger crowd. And I
mm,
always want to challenge myself in that. I wanted to challenge myself with that with Saratoga. Although in that case, I think that maybe an older crowd does fit in best there. At
Okay.
Grand Floridian, where first glance might be, wow, this is so fancy. It's got this
mm.
Victorian theming. It's so,
Yeah.
clean girl aesthetic. But the reality is they have a beautiful splash pad that's Alice in Wonderland themed. And unless it's thundering and lightning, it's running and
Mhm.
available for the kids. They have kids activities that they do just like all the other resorts do. So I think that there are absolutely people who hesitate to stay deluxe with their kids. And that's something that I think at this point, like, yes, I would absolutely bring my kids to Grand Floridian. My youngest is still an age where a splash pad is very exciting, on occasion.
Mhm.
Um, and they have a more beachy area there as
Yeah.
well that you can kind of hang out and relax on. The pools are gorgeous. So there was just a lot to explore in regards to seeing, is it as family friendly here as I would want it to be for my family? and it
Mm.
is. And I was, I think, a little bit surprised, just because it's so clean and so beautiful
Yes.
that in
Yeah.
my head that translates to just being very adult, and I think that that's absolutely been rewritten for me after exploring that day.
That's awesome, and that's really good
Yeah.
information for us as just an agency or,
Mm.
we have our agents travel in all different ways, right? And so it's nice to hear that about the Grand Floridian. I feel like outside of going to 1900 Park Fair and just kind of breezing by, we don't really, I guess last time we were there a little bit longer, but we don't really explore the
Yeah,
Grand
we
Floridian
hung
too
around
much.
a little bit.
We
Yeah,
saw the
because it
pictures with the shoe, from Cinderella. That's nice. They do that upstairs. They are.
I have a
Um,
Mhm.
couple of those, from a Christmas time. I have a couple pictures
mm,
up there that are really
Okay.
nice. Um,
that's always nice to
Yeah, and
catch.
it's just I think it's just the it's the price point. It is expensive unless you're on some DVC point
yep.
thing. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's expensive and yeah, it just has because it's kind of like the marquee. It's like the deluxe of the deluxe resorts, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, Rob, and that's, I
Mm.
think that's why my head thought it was so adult because, like,
Mm.
I would bring my kids to the Poly.
Yeah,
Just
Right.
yeah,
I would bring my
yeah.
kids
Yeah.
to the Poly in a heartbeat.
Mhm,
So why wasn't it the same? And
mhm,
it's, you're right, it's like the deluxe of the deluxe, and
mhm.
that's absolutely it.
Yep.
Um, I will share that if you guys are ever down there, just the 2 of you, and you have an opportunity, Enchanted Rose Lounge has spectacular cocktails,
Mhm,
I've
and
always wanted to go.
is so cute and so relaxing. I didn't go during this trip, but I've been on prior trips, and it's like, for me, a must do for every Skyliner crawl, if you're
Mhm.
adults and drink.
mhm.
But I highly recommend it for like a little date when you're down there.
I love that. We did a partial Skyliner crawl. I think we didn't make it past our second, maybe third. Like we were toasted. I don't know, tired. But yeah, that's always on my list of places that I really want to go. Have you ever hit up Narcoossee's over
I
there?
haven't. Um,
Narcoosseous.
the majority of their menu is seafood. There's a lot of seafood
Mm,
on their
Mhm.
calendar, nope, menu. Um, and I am allergic to fish. So,
bad.
with a lot of the um signature restaurants and the nicer restaurants, I have a couple of clients who go to Narcoossee's every single time they're in Florida because it is like not just a favorite restaurant in Disney, but a favorite restaurant ever.
Yes.
Um,
Okay.
and so it's still on my list to try it, but I'm essentially prioritizing everything that isn't a seafood menu first, and
Mhm.
then picking out what I can eat from the seafood spots after that.
Oh,
Understood. I get that. All right. So we're
and
still on the
and, you know,
huh?
Grand Floridian,
Huh?
one thing that it does have fine dining, and not to say that this isn't a fine dining place. The Gasparilla Island Grill is supposed to be like very price friendly and really
Mm.
good food. I heard like the mac and cheese is like really good and everything else there. So that's like their quick service place where you can go and eat.
Cool.
Yup.
Okay, so we're still in the fifth. We've kind of like trotted around in the Grand Floridian. Like, what's our plan for later in the evening, or what have we done? What are we doing?
So I had made a reservation for dinner on the 5th, and I was going to be going over to the other place just for the night for the dinner.
Ooh,
Okay.
so okay, so we can
So
say you
where do
went
we
over
go?
to Universal, but not just Universal.
I,
You went over
I did.
to
I went to Bar Helios for dinner in the Grand Helios, and
Oh.
it was incredible. Easily one of the best meals I had on the trip, and I ate well on this trip, guys. I ate Oh, it was awesome. It was amazing. I love food and I love parks food. It's one of my favorite parts about traveling. Um,
Okay.
my family teases me a little bit because I have food memories from probably every vacation I've ever been on, like
oh,
from
that's
when I was
awesome.
little. So it was incredible. Do not sleep on Bar Helios. Like
And
if
this
you
is the bar on the top of Grand Helios,
Yes, the
right?
one, like,
Okay.
if you see the dome on
Mhm.
top of
Okay.
the Grand Helios, the the middle of the bar is the
Mm.
dome.
Oh,
And it's
gotcha.
actually really neat, something that I loved that I saw there that I wish more bars would do. Um, the bar is round and in the middle underneath
Mhm.
that spot, and inside the dome, they have the TVs for there's 4 TVs, and that way people who are sitting at the bar can watch their sports games.
Mhm.
Everybody else in the bar only sees the TVs if they're looking for them. And so that's really,
Nice.
really cool because it allows them to have that more casual feel in the very, very middle when you're sitting around at the
Mhm.
bar, but all of the rest of the seating is still very fancy, very elevated, very
Okay.
kind of clean and minimalist in a beautiful way. It's everything at the Grand Helios is, like, the prettiest thing I've ever seen. Part of that
Yeah.
is because it opened,
Yeah. It's
2 months
it's
ago.
yeah, it's basically
Um,
brand new.
but the meal that I ate and the dessert that I tried were also mind-blowingly good. I highly recommend the farmer's cheese, which is on their bar menu. It is a combination of soft cheeses spread on a board, and then they sprinkle a bunch of flavors on it, and it's
Oh.
so good. And you dip, a they do these, like, grilled slices of focaccia, and you dip the focaccia bread in them, and the
Mm.
focaccia is, like, perfectly seasoned and cooked as well, so it's
Oh.
just all great. Um, and then the other thing that I recommend there is they have a dessert experience that you can do. You pay, like, 35 bucks for the dessert. It's shareable. I don't necessarily wanna spoil it, but it's a little bit interactive, and the uh, food that you get with it is like a deconstructed bread pudding, and it's fantastic.
Oh.
So would recommend Bar Helios forever, based
Okay.
on this one experience so far at that restaurant.
I'm so happy to hear that because sometimes first dining experiences for new restaurants is not that way. So that's phenomenal. I'm really happy to hear that.
And it
Awesome.
has spectacular views, right? You get
Yeah.
great views of everything and
You can see all of, Celestial Park and
mhm.
much of Epic Universe. You can't see
Nice.
into all the lands, but you can see all of
Okay.
Celestial Park. And there's a fountain show at Celestial Park every night.
Yeah.
So if you're at the bar for dinner, you can actually see it from the patio that they have there, very similarly to how one might go to California Grill at the Contemporary and then watch
Mhm.
the fireworks from the patio right outside or from their window seats. Very similar view to that.
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, good to know. I'm glad you made now. Did you find it difficult to make those reservations? Did you have to make them very far in advance? Was it?
Um, Basically, once I locked in when I was flying down, the first thing I did was try to get that reservation, but luckily it was relatively easy. Um, they I think that a lot of people are still very busy navigating, figuring out being at Epic as a park, and
Mhm.
they're not looking at, like, the resort food as much yet and things like that. So even guests who
Okay.
are coming to stay, if especially if they've never been to Universal and this is, like, their first trip, they're not going to Bar Helios because that's not something that they're paying attention to, I think. But for me, it's become, like, an automatic recommend now. So, um, I'm glad I was able to get a reservation. Hopefully, all of my recommendations, don't make it so that it's too hard to get them in the future.
Yeah. I love that.
Mm.
I love that. All right. So we go back to Grand Floridian that night and we are getting snug into bed because we're going to have a really busy day on the 6th. What did you do on the 6th?
On the 6th, I made the executive decision to wake up early and go to Animal Kingdom.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
it was the only park that I didn't necessarily have scheduled in, and I decided on the 5th. I had been hemming and hawing about it a little bit, and I decided I absolutely want to go to Animal Kingdom. The vibes there are just immaculate all of the time, and I needed
Mhm.
that little bit of relaxing that I do around Animal Kingdom. I walk around with an iced coffee and I or a hot coffee. Actually, this
Mhm.
time it was a mocha that I had in the
Mhm.
morning. Um, I grabbed it at the Joffrey's on the way into to the
Okay.
Concierge
Yeah.
venue
Yeah.
near
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
parking lot.
Yep.
And then or near the entry, I should say. Um, and then I walked around, I looked at some animals, I got on Everest, I looked at some more animals, and I left.
Oh my gosh. That sounds like my most favorite morning ever. Like, just like a little chill, little animals here and there, little tiger here, little monkey there. Here we go. Awesome. So, so cool. And then what did you do?
So that's probably the part that we're really getting to the meat there. When I left there, I went to grab a little bit of food and then check in to be able to go to do our workshop. So um,
Okay.
So
for
you
our
had to check in at Contemporary, right?
yes,
Perfect. Okay.
So I asked the Grand Floridian to move my bags for me that morning. And when you stay anywhere on Disney property, as I know you
Mhm.
guys know, they Bell Services can move your bags for a split stay, so they can go from
Mhm.
resort to resort while you're at the
Yeah.
parks. And I love taking advantage of that. It has, knock on wood, it has gone beautifully and successfully every time. I have not ever had an issue with it.
Mhm.
I've never had a client have an issue with it. So far,
Yeah.
just amazing every time. They take a lot of care with it. When they check you in, they're checking how many bags you
Mhm.
have, how many bags you're picking up, making sure it's the
Yeah.
same amount. Um,
And they
and
always let you
so
know if you need something like refrigerated, like if you have, whatever it is, yes, they're taking care of it.
they have updated their policies now. Their willingness to refrigerate things evolves and changes. So always check in advance for that, just because it's not sometimes they'll do it and sometimes
Mhm.
they won't. They also have rules about their willingness to transfer medication. So definitely good little things to check for at your specific resort, just in case the policies have
Mhm.
updated. Um, but I went to the Contemporary and I, um, got checked in first for the workshop. I met some other travel agents. I said hi to Dylan because she was in line at the same time.
Mhm.
I got checked in, and then I went and checked in to our resort room as well. And we were staying in the garden wing in a water view room. Um, it was a little bit of a hike. It was not bad, or at
Okay.
least I didn't think it was bad. Definitely, it's not the same as staying in the main building, but I thought it was great. I actually really liked the garden wing a lot. We were in an Incredibles room. I guess everything is an Incredibles room
Everything.
Newsroom.
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
They're done with the renovation, so everything is Incredibles. But I like the Incredibles. I like seeing Edna Mode on my throw pillow. I
Okay.
like seeing Frozone on my throw pillow. So for me, that was really fun just in itself because I like the Incredibles.
Mm.
Um, but getting to like check into the room, but then having my badge that said like I'm there as a rising
Mhm.
star for this
Mhm.
conference was
Mm.
so cool. Getting to be like, okay, I'm with Family Travel Planner. I am Megan. That is me. Um was
So cute.
it was so cool to be able to just I don't know, it was official. It was official that we were there.
Okay.
Um
Yeah.
and then we didn't have to be in Hollywood Studios until I think 7:30. Um,
Mhm.
but obviously I wanted to get as many hours in as possible.
Mhm.
So once we were done, I swapped into a different outfit because I love a midday costume change in Florida. Um, it's more comfortable, and also
Yeah.
I get to take more cute pictures that way.
Yeah.
Um, so I headed over there to get an early supper at Hollywood Brown Derby Lounge. In
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know if I said I headed to Hollywood Studios, but Hollywood
Mhm.
Studios,
Studios.
where Hollywood Brown Derby Lounge is. Um,
Mhm.
the waiter the waiter made me giggle because I have to occasionally order things a little bit special. Um,
Mm.
and because I have special dietary needs,
Mhm.
and he went and put in my order after confirming that what I ordered was exactly what I wanted, and I'll tell you what that was. But he then came back to the table to let me know, like, it would be out soon and was like, "The chefs have asked me twice to make sure this is actually what you want," which is
Oh,
their world famous Cobb salad.
okay.
I get it without blue cheese because I'm allergic to gorgonzola. I can't eat the mold, so allergic to blue cheese. But then I have them hold the lettuce. So my vegetables are all of the vegetables that are normally toppings, the avocado, the cucumber, the tomato, the bacon and egg, which are not vegetables. And I get chicken put on top of it because I have very high protein requirements for my nutrition, and I don't have a lot of room, so I can't eat the lettuce in bulk. It doesn't harm me to eat lettuce, I just don't have room for it. So asking to
Okay.
just give me this like meat bowl, this meat salad, he was like, "Are you sure?" But he was so kind, and it was perfect and
Okay.
everything. That's just one of my go-to easy options in the park that I know I'm meeting my nutritional needs when I'm eating it. And they squeezed me into the lounge right away. There was no wait for my table.
Oh,
Um,
that's great.
it was spectacular, because I knew they had given us a heads up that they were giving us the very cool experience of getting to have a Fantasmic dessert party, but
Mhm.
Mhm.
having been to dessert parties at Disney before, I know they very rarely have anything savory or substantial that isn't a
Yeah.
Yeah.
treat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So needed to needed to get in some real
So,
food first,
yeah,
and
no,
then
Yeah.
head that
that's
way.
a good call.
Yeah.
Yes, we've walked into that trap of doing a fireworks dessert party, not eating, and then like we're like, how many chocolate covered strawberries can us and the kids have to get
Yeah.
nourishment, and then
Mm.
How
yeah, so
many
that's a good
how many
call.
tiny churros is a meal?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Exactly.
Eh,
Exactly.
yep.
Okay, okay, amazing. So that sounds like a really good meal, actually. I kind of wanna try your way. It sounds good.
Do recommend.
Okay.
I'll just be like, "I'll have the Megs. Thank you." Okay, so then you went over, or did you have time between dinner and the dessert party? Or did you
I
kind of
leisurely walked around and enjoyed myself. That's it.
I
I took
love
in
that.
I took in the vibes, and I'm only saying this in the way that I say it for those of you listening at home, because I'm not great at relaxing, and so when the mood hits and I'm able to do so, it's like a little celebration. And I some of my relaxing was doing some editing, and some of my relaxing was doing a little bit of work, but in a fun and pleasant way. It wasn't workaholic Megs, it was Megs having a good time at Disney and editing photos while I'm waiting for the dessert party. It was really nice.
I love that. That's amazing. All right, so then we head over to the dessert party, and what were your takeaways? What'd you think? I mean, I feel like some of us didn't really know that Fantasmic had a dessert party.
I didn't.
Um, so
Yeah.
this was a bit of a surprise. We're like, "Are you guys just doing this for us? Like, what's happening?" So what was your takeaway on this?
So, couple of things. One is the patio where the dessert party is a little bit obstructed viewing. So, if you've never, ever, ever seen Fantasmic before, there are
Mhm.
better ways to see it. Just full transparency, there are better ways to see it if it's your
Okay.
very first time. With that being said, if you are like me and Fantasmic is your favorite nighttime spectacular, but you know what happens, so you don't need to see every single part. Like I couldn't see
Mm.
Aladdin when he swings away on a rope. Little things like that. I
Okay.
know that it happens. I was okay eating the really awesome specialty desserts that they made for it. And having slightly obstructed viewing because I still got to be at Fantasmic and hear the song and maybe could have done the Mickey opening dance for everybody on the patio, but I did not. Um, it it was really cool because having been to a couple of different dessert parties at Disney before, almost every treat that I tried at this dessert party was different than the ones I've had before. So
Okay.
Oh, that's
that was
great.
very cool. Um, they did mini churros, which are at many of their dessert parties, but they also did Mickey waffle inspired whoopie pies where they
Oh.
took
Amazing.
they took cake-ish texture that was um and they pressed it in a Mickey waffle maker, so it was the shape of a Mickey waffle, but the texture of a very soft cake. And then in the middle,
Mhm.
they put frosting like you would in a whoopie pie. The frosting was maple buttercream. So you're getting maple and butter like you would on a waffle, but in a whoopie pie. It was one of my favorite things there because it was
Wow.
so unique and so different from anything else that I've had on property, but it was so good. If I had more room, I probably would have eaten another one of them because it was so
They're
tasty.
so good.
Um,
Wow.
the
I don't
other
know if I've ever seen that anywhere, right? I don't think I've ever seen that, like,
Like a
offered.
Mickey whoopie pie,
I
yeah.
Yeah.
hadn't. This was my
Yeah.
first time seeing anything like that on property, and, you know, I like many Mickey-shaped foods, but
Mhm.
this was a standout, this was a
Hmm.
favorite.
That's
Um,
awesome.
That's
like,
awesome.
if you like if you like, you know, cake or cupcakes enough and you like Mickey waffles enough, like, absolutely try these if you have the chance
Sure.
because
Okay.
they were awesome. The other really standout dessert for me at the party was they did cream puffs that were Dole Whip cream puffs. So it was like a traditional cream puff, but the custard inside and the kind of little whipped cream that they did on top were both pineapple cream. And they
Mm.
were really good and they did taste like Dole Whip. So very beautiful like blending of desserts there, which was really cool.
Oh.
Oof.
Um, but they also
Hmm.
did a coffee and tea station, there was water and lemonade for us, of course, help wash it all down. And I think the coolest part about the dessert party, aside from getting to see where the dessert party patio is and getting to be there for Fantasmic, was this was our first opportunity to kind of have a mixer with the other agents. So
Okay.
this
Okay. Yeah.
was here is a bunch of strangers, sit at tables with them and chat while you wait for the show to start. And that was actually really neat as well because we got to find out about other people's agencies a little bit. We got to chat about, you know, why they were there, you know, as individuals or what they wanted to get out of the trip,
Okay.
whether they were going on the VIP tour or the Wish cruise, which our badges also labeled which group we were in. So people were able to kind of go, oh, you're going, you know, you're going on the Wish cruise too. Cool. We can be boat friends. And I got to see a lot of that happening. And that was really neat. Because in any kind of you know conference situation where you're going in and you know meeting your peers in the industry, breaking the ice can be really hard, especially for younger folks who haven't done a lot of networking before and things like that. And I think that using the dessert party as an icebreaker was a really nice way to warm up the agents to each other and start to get to know each other prior to the 7th, which was our first full day and a
Mhm.
very full day.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, that's so great. I still have fond memories of meeting the agents the first night. I feel like it just kind of I I still look at their posts and their Instagram, Facebook. I get a lot of ideas. I love them a lot. It felt really great being again among peers. All right. So now we're on to the next day. You're going to see the Wish. So you
Yeah,
guys went on a bus to get there, correct?
we did.
All right. And how long is that bus transfer?
Um, it's about 45 minutes with no traffic. If there is traffic, it can be much longer, but we were lucky. We were leaving relatively early. And they did put us on a Mears bus, like a Mears Disney Cruise Line bus, same as what our clients would take if they went from the parks to the port.
Yeah.
Um, and it was a pretty pleasant ride on the bus. They used the bus ride as an opportunity to talk to us about some things about the Wish, talk to us about some things we were going to be experiencing. They did some trivia with us about Disney Cruise Line and Disney Wish to really keep us engaged on the bus ride. So, I had I had gotten up very early so that I could get takeout from Steakhouse 71 and have my favorite grits for breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sitting there enjoying the trivia and like contributing, but also trying to like low key eat my grits and not make a mess on the bus and not make a mess on my clothes. um, but it was really cool to have like a Joffrey's and my favorite grits on property. On this little bus ride and then get to hear kind of what everybody else knows about Disney Cruise Line, um, what kind of things I might not know because you don't know what you don't know.
Hmm.
Um, and what kind of stuff they were going to be showing us. Many things that we were planning on seeing are things that I had seen prior when I had the privilege to sail on the Wish, but there
Mhm.
were also things that I learned or things that I got to see that were brand new to me, or at least brand new to me in the way that they were presented, that makes it so cool for the next time I get to talk to cruise clients, and that started as early as that bus ride out to the boat. Sorry, out to the
Good.
ship. We're not the boats.
There you go.
Wow.
Like, not we, like, cruisers don't like when we call them boats.
Oops.
It's different, which
It
I understand. It is different,
it is
but like,
different. To me, it's still a really big boat.
yeah, right. Yeah,
It floats on the water. It's a boat. It's a ship. It's whatever.
we're
That's
gonna
what
need a
I'm saying.
bigger boat.
Um,
Okay, cool, cool. Keep going. You're doing great.
yeah. So, exploring the Wish was super cool. My favorite part of exploring the Wish and the part that was most unique for me was getting to tour the concierge suites and see
Mhm.
all of the things that concierge clients have access to. I've had clients book concierge, so I was already familiar with some of the things that make their trips easier, some of the things that make it more appealing for them to book concierge. I didn't know that they got to shop their pillow from a catalog. Like, there is
Uh,
a menu of pillows to choose from when you stay
Wow.
concierge, and you get to pick your pillow based on your sleep style. So,
I don't
like,
even think I could answer that question. I'm like, I don't know. I sleep on a pillow, but that's great. That's cool.
like, cool stuff like that. There are other things that they highlighted for us, like that when you book a concierge room, you send the concierge a list of the things your client wants to do, like excursions, or if they want to eat breakfast at Palo, things like that. And the day
Okay.
that booking for those things opens, concierge clients get first dibs. So those concierges are going in and booking things for the concierge clients before the public even has access to book things.
Oh.
They often are able to get almost everything or everything that those clients want, and us and or the clients just have to email them a list of the things that they want to do. So as a travel agent, of course, that's appealing because it's a step that I don't have to teach the clients or do for them. It's neat
Mhm.
that Disney Cruise Line does it for them. But then when you see the suite, it is beautiful. There's a spiral staircase that goes up to the second floor because they are all two-story.
Which
Um,
is bananas.
they
To
have
think about how everybody else sleeps and then like,
Yeah.
hey, I've got a two-story suite over here.
my little stateroom, my cute
Yeah.
little stateroom, and then
With
this
my little porthole.
um that was one of my favorite parts just because it was stunning and like it's dreams. It's dreams. They have different themes depending on which ship you are on. They have different themes depending on what floor you're staying on. I think concierge rooms are on 2 floors on the Wish. Um, and getting to see the whole thing instead of just pictures, because right, you can see pictures on the internet.
Mhm.
Getting to see it in person is different in this case, like so remarkably different. They have an espresso machine in their rooms, like to make espresso drinks if they
Nice.
want to make their own. But then there's also a concierge lounge that they can go to that has food available like all of the time, like buffet appetizers at different times of day.
Wow.
There's a bar in there. There's like they can do coffee drinks at the bar in there. Um, and there's a little kids section around a coffee, like a little kid height coffee table, and then
Aw.
there's a TV that plays like Mickey Mouse cartoons, but that way while the parents are like having their coffee or whatever, the kids can go and sit at the little coffee table and do the little version of it, and it's so cute.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so concierge is obviously the way to
All right. You know
go.
what? When We haven't been on a cruise yet. When we go Disney cruise, we're doing concierge. That's it.
Concierge all the way. All the way.
I don't want to do anything else now. Like I'm so
Yeah,
sold
right.
on the concierge rooms. I'm so sold. Um, the other thing that we got to do that was different is I got to see all of the rooms in the back of the kids club. So Oceaneer's club has open houses. And you can usually go to those open houses early in the trip. So like embarkation day, they have an open house where parents can go and see what's going on. Um, I got to actually see the rooms, and it was so cool. The Star Wars room is like being in Batu or like being on the Star Cruiser. Like it had very real Star
Okay.
Cruiser vibes in that one little space. Um the, the bathrooms all have very low, like low little kid toilets themed for the color of whatever character is on the door. The Rapunzel princess room is very themed and very Rapunzel-y. Um, there's something for everyone there. And my kids had
Okay.
told me that when they experienced it last time we were on the Wish, but getting to see it with my own eyes was completely different as well. And I can see why kids love it so much because that immersion that I love from the parks, that immersion that's my favorite thing, is abundant in the Oceaneers Club.
Oh,
I
that's
love
great.
it. It's so cool. All right. I'm going to let Rob take over for a second because I have a kid that's texting me.
Sounds
Oh,
good.
okay. So, and you said you were on the Wish before. You've been cruising. You've been on many a cruise.
So I've personally sailed on 2 sailings of the Wish.
Okay.
Um, in the inaugural, year when they were doing the Silver Days at Seas, which was a celebration they were doing, I had the
Okay.
opportunity to go to an AEP on the Wish, and that was very cool.
Oh,
That was my first experience on any cruise ship, and it was really unique because I was terrified of cruising, and I had been. Um,
okay.
but I knew that to be a good travel agent, I could not possibly be making cruise recommendations for clients without trying one. Like I didn't feel comfortable saying like, "Yes, you definitely want to do this," if I don't want to do it.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
that was really important to me, and after having done that, um, this past December, I got to sail again. My son's best friend, who is also one of my besties' sons, um,
Okay.
they were celebrating, something and invited us to go along with them and share the stateroom with them. So,
Oh,
it Lisa, who is my friend, and our kids shared a stateroom, and we did like a mom cruise with our kids. Uh,
okay.
Both were very different experiences for me, but both of them very much had me fall in love with the Disney Wish. Um,
Okay.
it has me very excited to go on the Treasure. Like I want to
Mm,
try all of the new ships now. I want to try the Treasure. I want to try the Destiny.
okay.
Um, the other reason why I'm somewhat familiar with cruising is because I spent my second year as a travel agent trying to have someone sail Disney Cruise Line every month of the year with me as their travel agent. That was the same year that I did my AEP on the Wish. Um, but I succeeded in having, I think, 10 cruises sail that year.
Oh, wow.
And that gave me the really cool opportunity of getting to learn, the best ways to interact um with Disney Cruise Line. It gave me the opportunity to make some mistakes and learn from those mistakes. It was a very human year because 10 cruises in 1 year is a lot,
Mhm.
especially if you also have parks clients traveling during those months.
Oh, yeah.
Um, but it's something I was playing with the idea of trying to have 2 cruisers every month in 2026. So,
Oh,
that's
all right.
something I might be aiming for next year. I'm still deciding my goals for next year, but it might be 2 cruises a
2
month every
cruises.
month.
Oh, okay. That's a lot of cruising.
It is. I mean, I would not be doing the bulk of it. My clients would be,
Your
but I might
clients would.
I might sneak onto
But
one.
you like live through them. You cruise through their
Absolutely.
portals. Got it.
Especially because so many of my clients become my friends. I One of my favorite parts is receiving pictures and stuff from them while they're traveling. And the same friend who had us on
Mhm.
the cruise with them in December just sailed last month, and she actually created a shared photo album with me so I could see all of their cruise pics, and that made me so happy.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, super fun.
No, no, that's great. All right, so you recommend The Wish,
Mhm.
then. But I think it's with Disney, right? It's any of the, you're good on any of them, and they're always coming out with new ships. It seems like almost every other year there's like a new ship that they're building, and it's coming out. So that's really cool.
Yes.
Um, all right, so you stay. So that was a good for somebody that had been on the Wish twice. You got to see it in like a different light and see different parts of it that you hadn't been had access to.
Yes.
So that's a good thing. Okay, what did you do? So that was mostly your day. Did they have anything that night for you? I don't remember.
That night uh they wanted everyone to go to Magic Kingdom, not necessarily together. They just wanted
Okay.
folks to explore the park. There were people there who had never been to Disney before. And so
No.
those folks
Okay.
were folks who are maybe successful travel agents,
Mhm.
but don't
Not
specialize in
wasn't
Disney the way that I do, or the way that
gotcha.
we do.
Yeah. Yes.
Um, I think that, I consistently say theme park travel is
Mhm.
what I do. It's what I am an expert at. Some of these folks were cruise experts, and so
Okay.
Disney was new to them, and so getting to go and, try food at Magic Kingdom or,
Well.
um, to go on Space Mountain.
Mhm.
I heard, one of the agents talking about Space Mountain the next morning and just kind of being like, "Wow, that was really rough," and I couldn't help but giggle because I know all the jokes about Space Mountain being a chiropractor visit and
Yeah,
and
yeah.
things like that.
Yes.
So I got a good giggle about that. But, that was just exploring Magic Kingdom. So
Okay. All
I
right.
went, I took some pictures, and then I actually, took the monorail over to Epcot for dinner because
Okay.
I am on a mission to try and rank all of the pizza in Florida as a person who is from the pizza capital of the world. So, I am a little bit biased about pizza, and I have some pretty big pizza feelings and opinions. And I'd heard so many times over the last several years how great the pizza is at the pizza window in
Mhm.
in the Italy pavilion
Yeah.
when it's open. The window isn't always open.
Mhm.
Sometimes you have to do sit down. I waited for an opportunity for the window to be open. It was open while I was there.
Okay.
I grabbed a slice of pepperoni pizza because that's the one that everybody talks about how great it is. Um, and it was pretty tasty. It was not the best pizza I've ever eaten in my entire life, but it
Okay.
was edible pizza, especially compared to other pizza in Florida, like collectively pizza in Florida.
Gotcha.
So that was really fun. I reviewed a video. I'm excited to share with you guys more about that pizza journey.
All
Um,
right.
but I grabbed some dinner. I was Disney bounding as Cinderella. I felt very cute. Um, and I luckily managed to avoid being outside during any rain on any of my park days.
That's
Oh,
so impressive.
It was
yeah.
awesome. I had so much luck on this trip. Like if we put Saratoga Springs driving aside, so many things worked well and worked out, and that was so spectacular.
Oh,
Um,
great.
and like getting to grab the pizza and not be stuck in the rain was just like another example of that, which was cool.
No, that's awesome. Gonna get that pizza, and as long as it's not the, I'm sure we're
Art
all
of
gonna miss it.
animation pizza.
Art of animation pizza,
Do
but
they do the
even
puff pizza?
well, no, this is just something else.
Okay.
This is another type of pizza that is not good. But
Not
obviously, the
qualified
puff
as pizza.
pizza, which Pizza Rizzo had, and you get at Pizzafari and all those
Yep,
places.
yep.
Yeah, that's yeah, I know that has the mixed reviews. I guess some people like it for what it is, but yeah, it's not gonna rank up high on your list, I'm sure.
I think I think for some people, like, I like fair food. I like park food. So there are
Mm,
times where if I really want a pizza and I'm at a theme park,
mm,
I might be okay with that puff pizza because I'm at a theme park.
okay.
But if I'm just looking for pizza, I am not looking for a puff pizza.
It's a
Mm, fair.
okay. All right.
After that, the only notable thing I did that night, besides having my awesome Epcot pizza,
Mm-hmm.
um, is I went over to the cake bake shop, cake bake shop,
Okay.
that just opened over near the boardwalk.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yes.
I didn't wanna go there for a full meal by
Mm-hmm.
myself because I don't think I'd be able to finish the portions even though everything looks incredible,
Mm-hmm.
but I did get myself a few desserts from their, dessert,
Okay.
area in the bakery and brought those with me for the next couple of days to kind of pick at, and they were so good. And it's, like, the cutest aesthetic of all time. It's like if me as a 7 or 8-year-old had taste, that's what I would design as a bakery. I didn't. I did not have good design as a 7 or 8-year-old, but if I did, this would be my dream because it's pink everywhere and white everywhere, and all of the dessert has edible glitter on it, and
So
there's,
cool.
pink ballerina pink and florals, and it's just so dainty and so girly in
Okay.
all of the cutest ways, but not in a way that I think would, dissuade a more masculine person from eating there. So, I don't think it's a problem how pink it is. I think it's just a a unique experience to go and try, but it was absolutely tasty, and if the restaurant is as good as the food from the bakery, that's a recommend as well.
Okay. And I think it has a reputation of having very good food because it has to have something to justify the pricing that
Yeah.
it's gotten that's obviously that's what the reputation is. It's high price, but the food better be worth, the price. The juice has to be worth the squeeze in that instance. But
The
yeah.
3 different dessert bars that I bought
Mm,
cost total almost $40 after, tax and stuff like that.
okay.
And that's for 3 sizable, they were
Mhm,
not small, but
okay.
3 dessert bars, almost $40. That's a lot. It is. But, the lemon square that I had was spectacular. It was a
Mm,
great lemon square. It was awesome. The raspberry oatmeal raspberry kind of bar that I had was spectacular.
okay.
Um, and the magic cookie bar, sorry, they just call it a magic bar. My mother-in-law calls them magic cookie
That's
bars.
good. Bread.
But the magic bar was fantastic as well. So it, yeah, it
Okay.
is costly.
Yeah,
It
but
is, but tasty.
you're paying for what you
Yeah,
get.
yeah.
That's
Okay,
awesome.
cake bake shop. All right, so we got that. All right, so that was the other notable thing. Now you're going on to your last day,
Yeah,
right?
workshop
It's
day.
workshop day. Yeah, so you guys were in the old
Super intense.
the c- the contemporary convention center.
Yes.
Okay, and how was that experience for you?
It was awesome. It
Okay.
it was It was awesome. So there are several things that they did for this workshop that were very smart and very creative for being able to get all of this information to us in
Mm,
this small amount of time. The intern from their department made a workbook that we could all work out of while we were there. While we were able to kind of use it to take notes of things if we were discussing them from slides and stuff like that, but also had built into it small group activities so they could do breakouts, have us do a small group activity, come back and report as a group like any other workshop. So something that they really pushed for us that day is like, this is not a presentation. We're not here to just spoon feed you this information. You're here to learn from us, but you're here to learn from each other too. Compare notes, compare ideas, chat about these things together so that you can all be seeing success. If what you're doing isn't working, pivot. If what you're doing isn't working, try something new.
Mm.
And so they really, really wanted us to be working together with the other agents in a way that I think helped a lot of people stay engaged. It helped a lot of people, um, no matter how Disney advanced they are and how travel agent advanced they are, the information was digestible and approachable and
Okay.
so helpful. I was getting so many ideas while I was sitting there, and they weren't even necessarily ideas from other people. It was like somebody would say an idea that they have done or do, and I would go, "Okay, does that work in my life? Oh no, but this thing would." And came up with
Mm,
a whole bunch of things.
love that.
And that's the thing that I teased earlier, Abby, I will tell you now because it came up during the
Oh,
workshops. Um, Something I've been debating for a while is doing like an office hours at a local coffee shop where people who are local can come and ask Disney questions.
I love it.
You
okay.
have a presence there and you do it kind of same time of day, same day of the week consistently, and people start to recognize you, especially if you wear your ears there or something like that. I want to do it at that coffee spot that's the local
Yay.
like,
Oh,
Okay.
yay.
um, because I think that that's a really great spot and will allow me to bring some of the things to the table that I learned, and I'm really excited about that. Um, they showed us some merch from the Disneyland 70th that hadn't been shown much yet, so we got to tease a little bit of that day, which was very cool. They gave us a ton of Mickey-shaped treats, and I think that the main reason that they did that is because for anyone who went on the Wish tour and didn't do the VIP tour, they might not have had access to all of the parks with the Mickey-shaped foods.
Mm.
So making sure everybody had an opportunity to try a Rice Krispie treat, making sure everybody had the opportunity to try a Mickey premium bar, a Mickey pretzel. Um,
Yeah.
they afforded us the option at our workshop to have an afternoon snack. That's like all of my favorite things. Um, and it
That's
was
brilliant.
it
Mhm.
was so cool because it was still new and learning, but at snack time.
Okay.
Um, so that was neat, and there was one other thing that I wanted to, like, specifically highlight that was from workshop day, um, but I'm blanking on what it was. That
Okay.
they really want to set us up for success, um,
Mhm. Yes.
when it comes to making sure that our clients arrive at Disney prepared, and I loved that because that's something that's been a priority for me for a long time, and it's one of the selling points for me of, like, why someone might wanna work with me. It's so they can show up and already have the answers to their questions. They can show up and not necessarily have to, ask the front desk a million questions because they already know because they've been prepared from working with me for the last few months. And so knowing that that's a priority for Disney as well is so, like, affirming and feels really good as a travel agent because if that was already my priority and if that's already what I'm trying to do, it makes me feel like I'm on the right path and it makes me feel like I'm doing the correct things for my clients. Um, and it taught me some of the places where I might need to or want to pivot to be more efficient and more effective for my clients. And so that was really cool as well. I would if anybody else has the opportunity to do this, their hope is to do this for more travel agents in the future. Um, I hope I hope if you are enthusiastic about growing your business, you have the opportunity to go and do this because it was absolutely incredible to be a part of this pilot. We were the first group of travel
Yeah.
agents to have this opportunity. And like reinforced that with us a lot on workshop day too. They were like, you know, be patient with us if stuff goes wrong or whatever, because this is our first
Mm.
time too. And it was actually really magical, in all
Mm.
of the Disney ways. And we never like to assume that this will happen, but we very excitingly got to meet Mickey at the end of the day as well. So Mickey Mouse came to wish us all well and take pictures with us and give us a squeeze. And that was really nice too.
I love that they do that. It's just kinda like because you're at your end, you've kind of graduated this program and you're just, like, feeling flooded with information, but you're very happy. It's such an honoring thing, and then you get to meet, like, the small thing that started it all,
Yes.
right? Like, how random that somebody drawing a cartoon mouse with a semi-strange voice, and it created this whole thing. It's
Yeah.
so weird to think about. That's awesome. That sounds like a really great time. I'm so, so glad you got the opportunity to go. And now what did you do? You went home, you went to the Contemporary, right? You had one more night there, but you were really transitioning. Actually, you didn't go back to the Contemporary. You
I did.
actually transitioned a little early, which is great.
I did. I transitioned early because I wanted to try one of our good neighbor resorts that a friend recommends all the time, and I wanted to know if I want to recommend it too. So I went and spent a night at the Drury. The Drury
Okay.
is in Disney Springs. It is walkable to Disney Springs. From my room, I could actually see the Aerophile, which is the really, really big helium balloon. It's the world's
Mm.
largest helium balloon.
Mm.
Um, so I could see the Aerophile and I could see the Cirque du Soleil building from my little teeny balcony, which was very cool. Um, One of the reasons that my friend recommends this hotel all of the time is because at the Drury, you have access to a lot of things that if you were on property would be much more expensive. And so what I mean by that is in a regular room, you get access to what is essentially a club lounge. And so because they have um, snacks and cocktails in the afternoon, they have a breakfast buffet that is available for everyone who stays there. Um,
Okay.
it's giving you some access to built-in things that on property you might pay more for.
Mhm.
Now, that said, oh, and they do have transportation to each park as well. I double checked with the folks at the front desk to make sure. Um, I went and tried their kickback hour, which is when you can go and get a cocktail in the afternoon or evening. Um, and I took a look at their breakfast buffet in the morning too. I would absolutely recommend this for folks who want to get a Disney package, but want to lower the cost because we can book the Drury through Disney because they're a good neighbor hotel. Um, I think that one of the more interesting things is there were absolutely a ton of kids there. So like I feel like on property, depending on where you stay and what you're doing and where you are, you still have access to quiet at like any resort. You can find a quiet place. When you're at a spot where you're getting so much value, it also means people are traveling with larger families and larger parties. So
Yeah.
there were a ton of kids, and that's something that I would maybe say is a downside depending on who I'm sending there.
Mm.
But also, if I really wanted to go to Disney and really needed to reduce that room cost, and could get free breakfast every morning and a cocktail in the afternoon or evening,
Hey.
why not try that out?
Yeah.
It was clean, it was large, but not in an intimidating way. And it was very Disneyfied. They have a huge picture of a map of Disney World, but it's like an artistic rendering. So it's not
Mhm.
necessarily an accurate map, but it is a very cool, it's cool vibes. And that's
Okay.
definitely what they
I
were
like that.
going for. Um, so I went and stayed at the jury just for the
All
night
right.
to see how it would go, and it was awesome. And I had a great opportunity to try something for my clients, and that's what I like to do anytime that I'm in Orlando. Um, so it was very cool to get to do that, um, until the next day when I switched to Royal Pacific, which is one of our on-property, Universal resorts.
Okay.
You love Royal Pacific.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's a good one.
I didn't know about your special connection until I texted you that day.
I know, right? That's the one we honeymooned in.
Yeah,
Heck
it
yeah.
is.
I always get like a little like because there's a few there, but this one on the waterway that you can take the water taxi, but it's beautiful. Now it was a little different when we honeymooned there. It was during like COVID time, so a little
Yeah.
different,
Yeah.
but still gorgeous, and the food was still phenomenal. I always think Universal food. I don't know what it is. I love it. That's my love food.
I had incredible food at Universal this week.
Yeah.
I especially I know I mentioned the Epcot pizza earlier. I got to try Pizza Moon on Friday, you guys.
Oh.
Pizza Moon, eh, the pizza that I ate was one of the best pizzas I've ever had. Not
Oh.
just
All
in
right.
Florida, not just in Orlando, not just in a theme park. One of the best pizzas I have ever partaken in.
Pizza
Awesome.
Moon.
Pizza Moon. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Oof,
Okay. And now
hands
I
down.
have a question. Did you have to eat it all there? Because I heard they have like an issue with like people leaving with pizza.
So
Or
that's a great question.
yeah.
I was sharing it with someone, so
Okay.
I was able to have some help eating it. I
All right.
believe they will allow mm, they don't like you to carry food around the theme parks, especially in the summer at either big park in Orlando. They don't like
Mm-hmm.
you to carry restaurant food around the parks and then try to eat it later because they don't want people to get sick. And so that's why, like, if you
Okay.
go to Tiffin's or similar
Mhm.
and you can't finish your meal, if you're just going to be staying in the park, they won't let you take your leftovers. Like, they don't have leftovers containers because they don't want people getting sick from like their old fish being an expedition ever all day.
Ugh.
Right? Gross. Um,
Okay.
so
All right.
I imagine Pizza Moon is probably seeing a little bit of that happening. I do think that this pizza would hold up okay for a couple of hours, but
Mm.
um I luckily was sharing, so I didn't have to worry about that. The
Okay.
pizza that we had was definitely like a two-person sized pizza. And it was the ube one, the one with the purple crust that
Oh,
looks
okay.
kind of like the moon. If you like garlic and if you like a white pizza, like a creamier pizza, spectacular.
Okay.
Um, and I did try their chicken Alfredo as well, just to make sure. Again, I like to give food recommendations.
All
And
right.
that was fantastic too. Um, I do want to call out that there was a huge line out the door, but Pizza Moon has mobile order. So you literally just have to go sit down at any spot, including outside, as long as there's a barcode and you
Mhm.
can scan it to get your food. So
Oh.
we
Okay.
just went and sat on the patio and ordered our food. I think probably they all wanted the air conditioning, but if you're not needing to be in the air conditioning, you do not have to wait in a line to eat at most of the quick service spots in Universal at this point. Um, because they'll bring your food to your table if you order it in the app.
That's
See?
awesome.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
no,
really
that's
good to know.
cool.
Mel's does that in Universal proper. Minions Cafe does that in Universal proper. Um, I'm trying to remember where I ate on Islands of Adventure Day. Um,
Okay. They seem to there was I've been watching lots of epic videos and such. They were saying that a lot of their restaurants they were calling them Quable service because
okay,
it was like you order it whether it's in at a counter or an app and then you sit somewhere and you scan it and they just bring it to you. So seems to be.
Quable is it's
Eh,
a good word. Yeah, that's exactly
yeah.
what it is.
All right. Yeah, that's what they seem to do.
Yeah.
Quable, that's
Quable
funny.
service. All
Um,
right. So obviously you were in Epic Universe, but
yes.
not just Bar Helios and not Pizza Moon.
I went to
Yeah.
Real Epic.
Okay.
It the immersion
Mhm.
is just A plus. So if you look as an example at how they took Hogsmeade at Islands of Adventure
Mhm.
and they learned from Hogsmeade and they made improvements on the immersive elements when they opened Diagon Alley. So the improvements that they made are like you at Hogsmeade can see Velocicoaster from behind Three Broomsticks, right? Stuff like that.
Mhm.
In Diagon Alley, you cannot see out of Diagon Alley. You cannot see
Yeah.
outside of that park. Um, Epic took what they learned from like Diagon Alley and built on that more.
Mhm.
So the immersion in every land is more like that. Um, and it's not that you can't at every point see any of the other parks, but
Mhm.
broadly you can't see a ton from the other parks, and that makes it so that each land feels really distinct and new. Um, Stardust Racers was a favorite ride of the day. Um, Stardust
Okay.
Racers is their racing coaster that's in Celestial Park. It's awesome. It's gorgeous. It's a great ride. It's as fun as Velocicoaster, but less scary, right? So
Ooh.
Interesting.
for people who feel like Velocicoaster is a one and done because it goes one step too far, Starfall will be your favorite, because you get a little bit of those G's, you get a little bit of that lift out of your seat on certain parts and stuff like that. You have plenty of twists and corkscrews, especially while you're going around the other car that's racing, which is really,
Okay.
really cool. Um, but it's more comfortable than Velocicoaster while still being thrilling and fun. Um, the let's see, Harry Potter, um, the Ministry ride, very similar to what I just described with the Harry Potter lands. It feels like
Mhm.
they took Forbidden Journey and they made Gringotts out of kind of what they learned from Forbidden Journey. And
Mhm.
I feel like the Ministry ride is the same. It's an evolution of what they did with Gringotts. And that was incredible. One of the biggest issues that folks have with the Universal rides that are like a majority screens is
Mhm.
that they don't have enough practical props and practical effects
Yeah.
to offset how much you're looking at a screen. They balanced that much better in Epic, and I think it's because of feedback from the other parks. Um, and that's really, really cool. The coffee there was decent. We had, coffee in, um, Paris. Paris Wizard Paris.
I love
Um,
that.
there were little details. The toilets there are European style. Like, the tank is up on the wall, like,
Okay.
suspended above
Oh.
the toilet, um,
Mhm.
which is just that's a European style of toilet that we don't really see here, but they put them in Wizarding Paris, um, just as a
Okay.
little details, right? Stuff like that is so awesome. I wanted to see the circus show in Wizarding Paris and I didn't make it, so that's a next time
Oh.
thing. I kept telling myself, it's okay. I'm coming back.
Yes.
It's okay. I will come back. This will be for next time. Um,
Mhm.
let's see, what's after Wizarding Paris? I'm trying to go in order of how they are. Uh, Dark Universe,
Mhm.
probably my favorite. I could spend all day in Dark Universe. Um, like, yes, I'm probably your spookiest travel agent. So some of it is definitely just that, like, those kind of like gothic architecture vibes and smoke coming out of the well and the
Yeah.
Burning Blade Tavern. Like, I'm just living my best life being an alt kid walking around these castles and watching horror monsters talk to each other. So
Did you have a run in with Igor? Did you see Igor?
I saw him. I didn't
Mhm.
interact with him, but I watched
Okay.
him interact with other people, and I also
Yeah.
saw Invisible Man interact with other people.
Okay.
Um, I loved Monsters Unchained, and for some reason it had a relatively short queue most of the time that we were there,
Huh.
but, like, I thought it was a great ride.
Yeah.
It also, similar to Ministry, has some screens and things like that, but many more practical effects than some other Universal rides in a way that makes it much more immersive. We got super, super lucky. Werewolf was closed
Okay.
most of the day, almost the entire day. We went back because we were trying to like do one more ride before we left, and there had been short lines for Monsters Unchained. So we were like,
Mhm.
okay, we'll go back. We're gonna refill our cups, our soda cups in the cool the freestyle machines,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna go and ride monsters. While we were at the freestyle machines, around the corner from the werewolf ride, we heard a test run going with a car.
Oh.
And we're it kind of just we looked at each other and we're like, "Werewolf? Yes." So we beelined it over to the ride with our drinks. And we thank goodness we were right around the corner because we only waited for maybe 15 or 20 minutes to get on the ride. But while we were in the line, the whole queue filled up because
Yeah.
it was the
Yeah.
line for
If the first time it
everyone
just
who had been
Yeah.
opened.
here all day.
Yeah.
Um, Hold on one moment. Nitro, if that's you, please lay down. One of my dogs. Yep, it's the blind one. He's he's looking for me, but he cannot see in my office or anywhere. So can you sit down, please, so he can trip on computer stuff. Nitro, please lay down, love. You're such a good boy. I wonder if it's drizzling. If it's drizzling, he's down here to hide. Um,
Oh.
so
Sweet.
Werewolf was cool. It's not a very long ride,
Yeah. Yep.
but
That's
it
what they
but it
say.
was interesting the way they use the track and the way they use the space. So I
Mhm.
liked how they used the space. I liked the ride vehicles. But it was so short. I wish they had made it a little bit longer. Um,
Were you able to get a good like view of the werewolf animatronic in the because it's like you don't
it,
know which way you're going to be spinning and
it's
where it
pretty
is and
quick.
yeah.
A little bit like when you're trying to see the practical Yeti in
Mhm.
Everest, like that up towards the
Yeah.
end.
Yep.
Um, you might catch him, you might not. I
Mm,
got a glimpse of werewolf, but it was
okay.
only a glimpse. I didn't get like a long
Yeah.
sweeping werewolf viewing.
Gotcha.
Um,
One more question about Monsters Unchained.
yes,
Did you see was the Dracula animatronic fully functioning? Or was it kind of because it's supposed to like lunge at you? And they kind of had the same thing with like the Yeti where it's just kind of it was like staying it was moving but it doesn't lunge. And then
I
but
think
then
he
it
was
was
in B mode.
activated. Okay.
I think
All
he was in B mode based on your description.
right.
Um,
Okay.
I'll have to I'll have to go on YouTube and
Mhm.
find a video of him
Working.
working and not working,
Gotcha.
and I'll tell you which one. But
Okay.
I think he was not working. I think he was in B mode.
All right.
Mm.
That seems to be the one that they're having the issue with that they haven't figured out yet.
It's huge. It's like a 7-foot tall animatronic. I'm
Yeah.
guessing. I don't know how actually tall it is.
Okay.
Like he's taller than a human
All right.
would be. Um, that ride, going onto it while we were in the queue, I said, I hope I get a jump scare. I didn't get jump scared. It was
Okay.
it wasn't that scary, but
Mm.
there were two different parts where I like, ooh, like a little uh,
I like that. Woo.
Now, I would imagine Abby would be.
Oh my god. I would be seriously, seriously. I'd
Yeah.
be really scared.
She gets scared like when she's like in the bathroom and like I just like come in behind her and she like shrieks and I'm like, I'm here. Like you just talked to me. And yeah, anyway. Okay.
I get
So
scared in my office, which I am by myself at work, and people walk in, and I'm like, ah! I don't know. I get in my own head.
I also get spooked easily, Abby, by like environmental things like that. Brian likes to tell me I've lived here for 10 years.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like,
I
yeah,
feel
it
like Rob would say that.
doesn't matter. You still snuck up on me.
Yep, exactly. Exactly.
all
Oh
right.
man.
So then how were did you have any snacks in Dark Universe? Did you have anything did you go in the
I looked at a bunch of the snacks. So
okay.
people were snacking there all day. So
Mm.
the garlic steak looked spectacular.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be honest with you, even though you guys know I love a Mickey shaped food and I love a theme park food,
Mm.
the Frankenstein pretzels and also the Shrek pretzels just make me giggle. Like there's I it's it's just like, do I need that?
Yeah.
No. Do I kind of want to buy them? Yes, but I
Mm.
didn't buy a Frank while I was there.
Okay.
I did though try all 3 custom soda flavors. That's actually why we bought the zipper, was so we could
Okay.
try those custom flavors.
All right.
Um, and they had a 50th anniversary Jaws flavor while we were there as well, so we tried that too.
Ah.
Ellis. Well, that's so cool. What did that taste like?
I'm trying to remember what the Jaws one nope, that was the Celestial Park one. Celestial Park one had a little bit of a zing. Like it was a little bit spicy, almost like ginger ale, but more. Ginger ale,
Oh.
but spicier than ginger ale.
Huh.
Um,
Okay.
but that was good. The one in Burke was a little bit Mountain Dewy. Like that was the vibe, was like a Mountain Dewy vibe. And then the one in um Dark Universe was blood red, surprise. And it's like berry flavored. Um,
Mhm.
it was a super, super pleasant berry flavor. I've heard some people say it's cough syrupy, but I didn't find it to be cough syrupy. I liked it. Could be that they've dialed in the recipe after feedback, could just be different tastes. But getting to try the different sodas, I'm gonna roll out a couple of little like reviews of those and stuff as
Okay.
we go, because those have
All right.
been awesome, and it was such a fun part to get to like, I don't know, do a blind taste test of having never tried any of them before.
All
I
right.
love
We'll be
that.
looking forward to those
That's really
reviews.
cool. I guess I didn't even know that they did specialty sodas. I'm sure that we've reported it somewhere. I feel like I always forget. It like comes in my brain, and then as soon as I report it, I'm like, "Zoop." It's gone.
Um,
um, that sounds amazing. Now, what are the evening lights? What's the evening like over at Epic?
it lights up in the most spectacular ways.
Mm.
Um, they very clearly built this park with the intention of having it look stunning both during the day and
Mm.
at night. There are lights on a ton of the ride vehicles that are like outdoor ride vehicles.
Mhm.
Um, there are lights on the outside of a lot of things. Things like the Constellation Carousel sign is lit all of the time, but you can see it lit a lot more at nighttime. Um, a lot of areas have like kind of decorative like lanterns and hanging things, and those all kind of come to life in the evening as well. So just being able to Celestial Park is so beautifully aptly named. It
Mhm.
has that god and goddess feel as intended, but it also just has, that starry feel. The constellation carousel, when you look up close at the animals on it, they all have constellations on their sides because it's the animal shapes of constellations. So there's a rabbit, there's a bear like Ursa Major or Ursa Minor. There's things like that. So those details, seeing them during the day, stunning. Seeing them at night, also stunning. Um
Mm.
I I could spend a week there, I feel like, and not be sick of it. I think I could
Okay.
just be in just Epic every day and enjoy the heck out of it. Um, Rob, I did not try the snacks in Monsters, in Dark Universe. I
Okay.
did try the smoothies at Yoshi's smoothie place though, and they
Oh,
were
okay.
excellent.
Oh.
Um, I have a tip. I have a tip to
Oh,
share.
okay.
Um,
All right.
if you're going to Epic Universe, if you're going to want to be getting on all of the rides and also not be too crowded, avoid Isle of Berk and Super Nintendo World early in the day. Don't go to those
Mm,
until around 6 p.m. when the kids are leaving for dinner or have
yeah.
left for dinner,
Okay.
because those are the two areas where the most families are and the most children are because they are the most kid-friendly parts of the park.
All right.
So because those are more steered towards kids, those are very, very, very crowded. So if you have slightly older kids, or if you are there without kids, or even if you are there with your kids and you're just trying to be in a less crowded space,
Mm,
early park hours for Super Nintendo World, it's still overwhelming. um, uh, Isle of Berk was it was crowded. Those were the two most crowded parts of the
good.
park.
Okay.
We went back to them later in the day, it wasn't as bad.
All
It
right.
was definitely more calm, and I very much think the kids get tired out during the day, they go eat dinner, everybody else kind of fills
Mm,
in after that. So I would
oh,
recommend that based on my experience so far.
no, that's a
Mm,
good
that's a
tip.
great tip.
Yeah, that's a really
Mm.
yeah, that is a really good tip. That makes sense. Yeah. The kids aren't going to want to go to Dark Universe. They want to stay out of there pretty much, the young kids. But yeah, Super Nintendo and obviously Al Burke, that's meant for them. So, and I could see how if it's only like they'd only want to go to Harry Potter if they're Harry Potter fans. Or if they want to go on that ride, then they're really probably bored, right? With everything else, unless they have a wand. But I
Yeah.
could
But it
see
sounds
that.
like Epic Universe isn't just a one-day park. You've got
Yeah.
multiple days.
I think I think that it could be a one-day park if you have Express Pass. I think if you do not have Express Pass, it cannot be a one-day park.
Okay.
Um, I think it can be a one-day park as long as you have Express Pass. Right now, the way that it's set up is if you stay on property at one of the resorts that gives you unlimited Express Pass, it's not including Epic. That's
Mm.
separate. And if you stay at the Epic resorts, which are Stella Luna, Terra
Terra
Nova,
Nova, yep, and the
and Grand
Grand Helios.
Helios, if you stay at any of those, they do not yet have any kind of free express pass for Epic.
Mhm.
So no matter what right now, if you want express pass for Epic, you have to pay for it. Um, I think it's worth it. Like I think for having like an A plus Epic day, paying the 200 or so bucks balances out in other ways.
Mhm.
But also depends on your planning and things like that. Um,
Yeah.
we went and stayed at Terra Nova for our last night there because I wanted to be closer to Epic and I wanted to try one of the new hotels. Um, it is absolutely a brandy new version of like Surfside or Dockside. So like definitely still that like value vibe, but not like it's everything is so pretty, you guys. I think that's the biggest takeaway for me is the design for the entirety of Epic and everything surrounding Epic is so visually appealing. All I wanted to do is take
Mm.
pictures and look at stuff, because I could not get over how gorgeous everything was, and that extends to the value hotels. It extends to the highway ramps that they built just outside the park. Like, every single thing that was, like, urban planning
Okay.
and things like that and civil planning for this, even those are beautifully done. Um, and it was so, so cool. I feel, beyond, like, grateful to have been able to make it work so that I could add Epic to the end of my my business trip. because I like the trip was already incredible, right? The
Yeah.
opportunities that we had at Disney and the things that I got to learn at Disney and the ideas that I've had since then are awesome. Getting to add Epic to the end, like it's A plus plus plus. It's just 15 out of 10. Would recommend.
Yeah, I love it.
That's
I love
awesome.
all of that. I mean, that sounds so amazing, and I wanna sit here and talk so much more, especially about your Universal, but we've been together for almost 2 hours now, so we do have
Yes.
to wrap it up. But thank you so much for spending the evening with us and talking about Disney and talking about Universal and giving those tips and giving some tricks to the everybody that's gonna listen. I'm just so excited to see where you go from here. I think this was a great trip and I'm really happy for you and I'm happy you're with us. So thank you so very much. And Megs, any last words?
Um, I hope everybody has a magical week, and, um, if you guys wanna go to Disney, you know where to find me.
That's
Megan O'Finn
right.
Travel
Yes. We'll
That's
put
right.
all of Meg's links are gonna be in the description, and
at
we'll push them there. Yep.
Yes. And we'll make sure to, yeah, to hook you up on the way out. Now, I believe next week our episode is going to be a little bit about packing.
Oh, uh-oh.
Big hint. So,
Okay.
anyways, join us next time and send us a like. I don't know, click the like. What do people do these days? They
Wow.
say, we love you. All right. Have the most fabulous week ever, and we'll talk to you next time.
All right. Bye.